back and forth, have settled on telling their charmed captive what he should do. He did not take a walk with Eustace, correct?
He's currently tied up, I believe.
That's what I thought.
He's tied and unconscious.
Yeah.
Yep, tied up and unconscious. So there was a lot of give and take on that one, but he is tied up and unconscious. The party here must figure out what exactly they're going to do, where and how they'd like to travel.
Well, we've dealt with the members in there, right? We need to get to their fort.
We have the robes too now that they left behind.
So the issue is here: if we wait too long, those that we sent out to go kill us will come back when they find we are not there, and then they will find their place here devoid of everyone they had left behind. And then I would assume they go back to the fort and they tell them, and then they're heightened alert. I don't know, lots of things.
Can I hear them now? Because I've been under a dome.
Is it a soundproof dome?
It's made out of sand.
So it's muffled. It's muffled, but I think you'd still be able to make out what they're saying from where you are. It's
Okay.
all happening right around you.
Okay, so I'll drop my mold earth and it just disintegrates into the sand, and then the blue fireflies just fly out because I was using that to see in the dark.
Walter, there you are. So, I'm just thinking.
What happened in there?
We sent a bunch of them out to go kill us, to open up the area. We had a talk with one of their commanders, and a couple of them decided they wanted to kill a owl bear that did not seem to go over too well for them. And so now we've got a place here that we've kind of emptied. We have some robes, so we can pretend to be some of them.
Is it empty in there, or is it?
There's an owl bear, but other than that, I don't think there's much left. There will be people, though, that will come back. We sent some out, or I sent some out as their commander to go kill us.
So the commander's still there?
No, the commander decided he wanted to fight us, and we had to deal with him. Not that, it was a very tough thing.
Okay.
But
I wasn't involved in any of it. I went to go find the robes. That's all I did.
no, this is, it was my fault. I made a mistake, and he realized that I was not who I said I was. So, Gabriel helped me survive that encounter. It was very messy. So anyways.
Does Gabe react the way that Sam reacts with just wide eyes?
Let me put it this way. If I were to have a passive deception, it would be 9. So, yes.
So anyways, I believe maybe it's best if we leave this place, and we had thought about going back to town. I'm a little worried that if we do that, they'll come here and they'll beat us up there, but we could easily take the one remaining boat, since someone is not a very good sailor, and figure out a way to make it towards their base or get back to the ship that this man had, right? I was indisposed when you guys were dealing with the ship.
If we can all get in the boat, I can get us wherever faster with my cannon, but maybe we should take their boat and take it back to the docks.
We could go back to their big boat, and then, if you pretended to be their captain, we could just sail right into there.
Do we know how far away this fort is that we now know that they're there?
Well, any of you can roll either a survival or a history to know the history of the area or this river in particular, and know where the big fork is, because it's not a fork, right? Because it's coming downstream. Yeah. There are 2 tributary rivers that run into this one, and it's a major point on the river.
Sharrik would not know, but
I'll do survival.
I did an 11 for survival.
I think yes, sir.
Nat 20.
Okay, well, that will clear the DC
22.
13. You are very familiar with this river, and you know that It's about 8 to 10 miles up the river.
Is the town in that direction, or is it the other direction?
Other direction.
8 to 10 miles. 30 people.
The town is about 1 mile back.
I think we may need to procure something larger faster than a rowboat. I can get us all probably to town easily enough, but 8 to 10 miles would take a few stops, because I have an ability to help us for about an hour to carry more people. But then,
okay. You know what? I actually do have the map now. Sorry, I found it. It's further than 10 miles. It's about. I mean, if you're taking the actual river and traveling the Wiggly River,
So I just usually go over.
Miles.
Yeah, I usually just go over yonder, half past the cow's butt. But
I mean,
basically, you would say it's almost 30 miles away if you by the river.
that's a quick trip. Either way,
No.
is it faster if we went over land, or
I mean, the
crow's fly is shorter?
the
But
crow's fly is shorter, but the
River's
travel
faster.
would be long. Yeah, exactly.
I believe
and
we
we're going upriver too.
We probably need to
So
get
that
back
would be-
to town, get the ship that could take us up or closer. The 30 miles, that is probably a couple of days journey. So we have a couple of options. We could wait for these people to return and deal with them, but they seem very capable. We can rush back and hope we can get there and then back here quick enough. For about an hour, I can make it so that we can use this boat and have a few lighter people on another device of my creation. So it just depends.
I guess it depends on, are we staying and fighting these dudes, or are we actually going to go off for a bit and then you do your doodly?
I mean, I think it's been made very clear that Walter is kind of concerned about our willingness to kill people.
right.
So maybe we skip
I'm
this group
asking-
of people
Okay.
and hope that doesn't bite us in the ass.
Okay.
This
So
could
we
be
need
a
to move
proving
quick
ground. If
then.
it does, then maybe you
Well-
have a good argument. But
Well, here's my thought: is if we're going to skip these folks, then we need to move quick. We can't diddly daddly if we're going to do anything important, because
Well-
they immediately going to go squeal to whoever their boss man is.
yes, I mean, we sent them a good deal. I can, for an hour, I can get us in the rowboat and somewhere. Theo has his cool cannon trick that made it go fast. Between those two, we could go pretty quickly.
Yeah, we
But-
should get out of here. They don't got no way to get out of here, so they wouldn't be able to tell anybody for a long ass time anyway.
The question would be,
How-
are we going
How
up?
far?
or
Well,
down?
it's a mile away, right? You said it was like or
The
5
mile.
miles away.
The town is a mile away.
Yes, mile away. Okay.
I can do a mile. We can do
Yeah.
that in the
Here's
time in this boat.
Okay. I do have a question. The boat that I was on, that I got info from the dude I intimidated, whose boat was that? It
Wait,
just
That was
It was just parked there, lights off, waiting for someone to get back to the ship. I was under the
That-
assumption.
That was the ship that sailed off.
Oh, it did sail.
oh, was it? Okay,
Yeah.
I did sell.
He-
I thought it was waiting for the captain.
No. Well, no. The captain got on, and he said, "All right, get the boat going." The guys went off the deck, and then the incident happened with him on the deck with Gabriel, and they went off the deck and got pulled themselves into the rowboat, and then you guys followed that boat this way. But the boat kept going, and you guys pulled over to this beach, and then he happened to say, "This is the beach. How'd you know about this place?"
I was under the impression that he never got on the ship.
Yeah, because he was with
I might be
me the whole
misremembering,
time on the
but-
boat.
Yeah, he didn't get in the ship because Dave charmed him. I mean, not Dave. Eustace.
Right. Okay. No, that's right. He called up from the ship. I'm getting on. Get everything ready, guys. Because the whole thing happened right. I actually thought you guys were going to get on the boat, and then you're
No.
right. That never actually happened.
No.
But somebody came over. I think it was you, actually. Right? You, Gabriel. You
I
beat
Got
up one
off.
guy.
literally, I told the guy, jump off the ship and leave, right?
Yeah.
Because we're going to kill everybody. Then I went down the ladder and I waited for the ship to arrive, and I just immediately got it. I waited for their little dinghy to come up, and I immediately got into their boat. I just sat down, and Eustace charmed him, and he directed us towards the
For some
this
reason,
place.
I was imagining that the ship he told someone to go. Okay, so then no, in that case, then yeah, you guys cruised off the boat, and that boat is still just sitting, waiting for the captain to return, probably wondering where.
In that case, I think we go. I will need
so
10
we head back
minutes.
there.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can get whatever we wanted to bring in the rowboat. The other question is I can carry about 500 pounds worth of things, and I'm not going to ask, but together you guys must figure out the best use of 500 pounds amongst all of us.
Only 2 people fit in the boat.
I think you said 3.
No, three people.
Three people fit the boat.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
2 people, really, honestly, 500 pounds, I should be able to carry 2 people easy. And I can do that for an hour.
I'm gonna maneuver the boat, so
Sharrik will go over off to the side a little bit and start drawing in the sand. And he'll pull out, like he draws like a circle in the sand, and he pulls out from his pouch of components and drops a drop of mercury that kind of like swirls in. And as he speaks the incantation, it starts swirling faster and faster. Then it will pop up, and there'll be this cloud of like, it looks like it's thundering and lightning. But I'm casting as a ritual Tensor's floating disc. And this will follow behind me for the next hour, can hold up to 500 pounds. It will stay within, it'll be 3 feet above the ground. And let's see. And it's going to just basically move within 20 feet of me. As I move forward, it moves within 20 feet of me.
Okay, that's awesome.
All right, now. I am not strong, so I will get on the disc. I'm also very light, and somebody who's strong who wants to pull the boat, feel free. Oh wait, no, I'm not. I cannot be on the disc. Damn.
Yeah,
I've never used this before.
Well, there's 3 people on the boat, and only 2 of them can be rowed. So
Perfect. I'll sit in the back and sunbathe. I'll look like the captain too, I guess, if just in case. You guys all decide.
I'll row because I got the muscle power for it. So
Oh, yes, you do. Who wants to ride on my floating cloud? It won't hurt you. It's just lightning is kind of my thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Leaving the
gonna.
Genasi here.
I would navigate the boat since I got the cannon, and
Oh yes, we do have the Genasi. Do we want to take the captain with us?
might as well just put him on the test.
What happens when we show up with 2 captains?
that's a problem.
Maybe we
So
can
you had
land.
to take him. You could just leave him here.
That's
Well,
fine.
but then they get back and they find him. That's one. I mean, why don't we could land somewhere else, and then turn him in, and then go down and claim his ship?
Well, here's the thing. They come back, they find him. What's it matter at that point? They have no ships. They have to walk 30 miles?
Fair enough.
No,
Yes, sir.
a mile back to town.
Back to town. We'll have their ship already, and we'll be gone. They go back
I
to
see
town. What are they
I
going to
see what
do?
Eustace is saying, though. They'd only be behind us by like an hour.
Yep.
Well, they're still not back. They got to go out and
Why
find out
don't
we're not here.
we leave him in like a rock or something on the way to the boat somewhere where he can float? I mean, even if he gets in the water, he breathes in the water. So
That's a fair point. I mean,
Oh, I
that's a
like
fair-
that idea. We could tie him to a rock and leave him at the bottom of the river for a while, and we'll come back and get him later. Yes, Walter?
See, I'm not saying shit.
I'm just saying.
So,
he breathes.
This is all Sharrik saying that
All
crap.
he's going to be is a little hungry for a little while. You know.
Honestly,
I
it
don't
sounds,
understand why this is becoming a thing, like a big deal.
well, I wasn't. What I was saying is, there's all these little islands and stuff. On the way there, we can just leave them somewhere,
Perfect.
and that's it.
That works.
I mean about the killing thing.
Well, we
Like-
weren't killing him.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm
trying
saying
not
is
to.
you guys are looking at me and saying, huh, Walter, what do you think about this, Walter? And you're treating me in a way, I think you just took it the wrong way.
Perhaps.
What I said is I don't want to be an assassin. I don't want to be what Eustace is. I don't like the way he does things. It just turns my stomach in a way, okay? And so I didn't like him taking a person and walking him down like he's a dog at old age. that just ran with me wrong. Okay. So if we can stop doing this thing where we just point out, hey, Walter, what do you think about this? It puts me in a very frustrating position. I just don't want to do that anymore.
Fair enough.
Can we move forward like men and just get this fucking job done?
Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
Throw him on the disc.
Perfect.
We'll take care of him at some point along the way. Leave him somewhere. Like you said, it will be a long time before he finds his friends. By that time, we'll have a ship. We'll move on.
Sounds like a plan.
If anything, it'll be like a cautionary tale. Do not bother these people.
Might be get to known as maybe he'll start to sing. He'll be known as a siren. Push the boat into the water. Let's go.
I start walking and the little cloud starts following me as I go.
I can get on the cloud. I'd only weigh 40 pounds.
I mean, I think as long as we put the captain, and 2 of you guys on, we're good. So whoever else wants, I have to be in the boat. So that it actually follows us. I think Theo has to be in the boat. So Eustace, Walter, and the captain would be on the cloud. Because Theo is going to use his cannon to make us go faster.
Okay. We're probably the lightest people here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have 500 pounds. We've got plenty.
Yeah, I don't know about Eustace. Eustace has so much
Yeah,
gear.
he's just got like 8 pieces of armor in his backpack.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, well, I sold a bunch of it, so.
Yeah. All right, so you guys get on this boat, and you're gonna
Yeah.
be moving away from the beach and over back towards the dock, which is not far. It's only about maybe a quarter of a mile. But you didn't row very far to get here.
At some point, I think, are there these a lot of these little island things in the middle of the river? Or
Well, this isn't an island; it's a bank.
Yeah.
It's a spot on the bank, but the river is quite large, and there are spots where there are islands and jetties. And things
or
like
even
that.
if there's a bank area that's fairly secluded, maybe we can pull off and just leave this captain tied up in one of those bank areas.
Well, since I rolled a nat 20, would I know of such a bank since I know this river?
Those sort of things change
Yeah.
seasonally with the river. I don't think so. However, if
Okay.
you'd like to roll another survival check now,
Yeah, I'll do
I would
that.
let you. You could probably
Okay.
figure out where a bank would be based on the way everything is laid out.
Okay. Great. 9.
So this is one of those things where you'd be able to find something eventually,
Okay.
but it will take a while. So if you get, what's the time limit on how long you would spend trying to find something like this?
Probably, I'm going to say 15 minutes, 20 minutes.
If you go the full 20 minutes, then you would eventually find, you walk up the bank a little bit, and then where the river turns, you can see there's it's not like an island, but it's like a spot where the grasses are firm enough and the soil is high enough that it's basically revealed the top over, a very, very small island, if you call it.
Okay.
As we're heading back and we drop this guy off in one of these little spots where we think he's going to be kind of out of sight for a while, probably tie him to whatever's there, like a little tree or rock or something. So, question, do you guys want to come on?
Sand.
Hmm?
We can bury him in the sand where his head just pokes up like a turtle.
That takes a long time. We'll leave him, let's go. It's not a big of a deal. Here's the thing. I had 2 thoughts. You guys could be recruits. I could be the captain, and I'll transform into the guy. Or you guys could come on as cultists using the robes, and we are transporting you up to the fort.
That might be a good idea. That way you have an excuse to immediately go up yonder way.
Yeah.
Perfect.
As much as I hate putting on those robes, it's probably the best plan.
Yes, it sucks for you guys. So you all take a robe, put them on. So for this last little leg of the journey.
Do you even have enough robes?
Yeah, we found a whole bunch of the new ones.
Yeah.
That was the water
5.
cult robes.
Oh, the water ones. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm here.
water
It's
cult, yeah,
still the earth cult, and I'm like, what?
No.
I didn't even have one then.
No, yeah, when you were
They look like Sam's shirt color. So
yeah.
Okay, cool.
minus, the playoffs.
Yeah.
No, they actually got that label, yeah, the 2018 playoffs.
Oh, is it? It's
Go Lightning.
some kind of arcana ritual, you know?
Yeah, that's from the Wizard games back in 2018. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, we found a bunch in that cave that we looted. All right, perfect. And then we'll get everyone back on and we'll head.
So are they nicer than the Earth Cult robes, or are they about the same?
About the same. You're looking at the same quality, just a different symbol on them.
They still got the mask?
No mask.
Yeah, I didn't find any mask. So
Okay.
It's okay.
just robe.
I will be the
These ain't
captain.
bad.
No problem.
Got this. I'll give you a nice pat on the shoulder.
All right.
I think we should probably not say anything like those other cultists did around other people. So
Yeah, silence.
So we'll head back.
Was that how they were in there?
yeah, if you don't, yeah, they were all weird. You had to say like a certain thing if you did a certain thing.
No, I think he meant
Not these people. I'm talking about the Earth Cult people.
in the cave. There were not
remember.
any that were actually wearing the robes. There were 2 that worked for the main guy there, and then a group that were hired to watch them. So I don't know.
Yeah, they were just your average cutthroats and bandits and whatchamajigs.
So then we'll head back and we'll go to the dock, and I will be the captain. The plan is to get on the ship and order the rest of the crew to take us to what was the name of the fort? It was something River Fort.
The River Guard.
Yeah,
River Guard
had
Keep.
that.
Yeah.
there it is.
Okay, so you guys are going to be making your way back to the ship. I pulled the map up of that little dock there on the Owlbear.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is this ship that you're talking about.
Yep.
And so it was evening when you guys started this endeavor. Since then, 3.5 hours has passed. So it's now full dark. When you are rowing up in this direction, you see 3 bright lanterns hanging on both on the large mast, the front prow, hope that's correct, and the keel. And that's all you can see with how dark it is. Well, many of you can't see in the dark anyway. Where do you row up to? Do you row straight up to that boat? Right up to here?
That's where the captain was heading in the first place, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I would say so. It is kind of weird we have this lightning thing. Do we want to like put some people ashore and kind of make a couple trips, or do we want to just come up and we don't explain why?
They won't know it's you. They won't know it's you. We could just say one of us is a magic user.
Oh yes.
And plus, it's all that well,
It's a bit watery, kind of.
yeah. I was thinking it's more air than water, but yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we'll
we
see. Let's go back. So I think we'll just head over because I mean it's gonna either go really well or really bad. So I might as well just get it over with.
Okay. So you come. Bring your rowboat up. Oh, one of these guys is not there, right? I have to remember that because you told him to jump and leave.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, I'm pulling up it was originally set as an encounter, but either way, I have all the character details in here, so I can use it.
Theo, do you want to send your bird to take a quick look just in case?
Yeah, I'll do that. What does the good old owl say? That's horrible. I rolled a 9 on perception for the bird.
Answer's not a lot.
So, yeah, you don't see a lot. It's very, very shadowed, and there's lots of stuff on the deck. The bird sails by and can tell that somebody is on the deck, but isn't able to perceive much with that score.
Yeah, I'll let him know. Yeah, it seems to be a lot of stuff up there, and there's somebody in the deck, but I can't see too well.
Oh, well. All right, I think we'll row up, and I, being the captain, will climb on board first.
And as you do, a halfling walks over to you, looks you up and down, and says, "Where the fuck have you been, Captain?"
I want to backhand him.
Okay.
What a power move. I fucking love
It's
it.
a power move.
So yeah, I'm gonna just backhand him, and I don't know if it hits. That's only a 14 to hit, which because I have a -1 to strength is no damage.
Okay, so it just, yeah, I mean, it smacks him. He doesn't duck that. He starts to, but it catches him.
Is that a way to speak to your captain? I had important things to do. We have a group of cultists we're going to take to the Riverguard Keep. Rouse the crew, get us underway.
Give me a deception to test your, acting skill. Actually, you could do performance if you prefer.
No, I prefer deception. That was a 15. It's a really crap roll, but
Not bad, actually. That's fine. He shakes his head and goes, "No, you didn't have to take it like that. Shit." And he walks over towards what seems to be like a small door that goes downstairs into a different portion of the ship, and he shouts, "Captain's finally back. Get on deck. Raise the mast. Let's get going. Upriver."
I'm going to gesture at the group to come up,
Oh, and they start coming around, and he turns back and he goes, "Oh, now come on. Who the hell is this?
I told you, we had to bring some cultists up to the Riverguard Keep.
This many?"
There's 4. I think we can find room. I know we're overburdened, but orders are orders. That bastard in the cavern called me over, used some magic to send a message to me to come see him. Sorry.
Let's go see that shithead.
Bad mood. That's why I'm pissed off. Come on, you worthless sacks. Get on board and let's get you underway.
So, yeah, you see a total of 5 crew members just rushing around the deck, raising the mast, turning things, lifting anchors, things like that. And then you see a portly gentleman in all bluish hues of blue, long robes, comes walking over to the captain as well and says, "Well, I would also say you're quite late, though I hope you will not smack my face."
Of course not.
So, did I overhear correctly? The wave priest from the caverns had called you over?
Yes. He asked me to bring these 4 individuals to the Riverguard Keep.
Roll me a deception -2.
Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God.
Remember, everybody, that you each have a point of inspiration I gave you at the end of last session.
Cool. Then I'm going to burn that right now because I rolled
Okay.
2 total. 2
Oh,
to start with. Oh, that's not a lot better. 13 is the total with the -2.
That hits exactly on the DC. And so he squints his eyes at you a little bit questioningly. He says, "It is a little odd that he did not send the message through me, a fellow wave priest, but I suppose if he was planning to undermine me, this might be a move he'd make. We'll have to see where this goes." And he starts getting red in the face and turns away and gets lost in his own thoughts. And you see him hammer his fist into his hand once, mumbling something under his breath.
Does it look like there's a captain's quarters on this ship? Or is it too small of a ship for that?
There's another... So basically, the deck of this ship, what you see beyond what you can see on the map there, obviously, that there are 2 masts, one here, one here. There's this opening here that looks down into the hold. This is the entrance that he called down to shout to the other crew members. Mm-hmm. So I think you'd likely be intelligent enough to put 2 and 2 together that the crew members are down there. So that's their quarters. So the only thing left is the door over here. So if that's what you're asking, then yes, there's a third door.
I mean, he's kind of that's what he'd assume. So he's going to walk back to that door and open it up.
Okay. And you open into a captain's quarters.
Perfect.
Are the others following you? That's more a question for that.
That is up to the others, because Sharrik's just going to walk into the captain's quarters so he can stop talking to people.
Gotcha.
Just in case. And if others want to follow, then that's up to them.
I mean, I'd get on the boat, but I'm not going to follow him because I thought that'd be weird. to follow the captain.
Now, though, you, Walter, do know that the room that he just went into is the one that you had been spying on when you saw the halfling in the dark, if you recall.
Oh, yeah, the weirdo just sitting in the dark. Oh, could I have told him that before they went out? Before he went back there?
Yeah, I mean, you could definitely whisper that as you see him start to move in that direction. Well, actually, roll me a perception test to see if you can notice in that moment before he fully commits to walking away.
Okay, 22.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So you basically see him look that way, notice the door, and before he even takes a step, you say whatever you're going to say.
Do they have cloaks? Do
These people here do not.
Do our cloaks have hoods?
Oh, yes, they do.
Okay. Then I'll lean in and touch his hand so that he could stop a bit, and I'll tell him there's another person down there. It's a halfling or gnome. What was it?
Actually, I think I've been saying halfling, but it's actually a gnome.
Okay. There's another person down there, some type of gnome.
Oh, no. He's the one that you see on the deck now.
Oh, that's the same guy?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying it's the same room that you had seen him sitting in earlier when you were spying on
it. Okay. Well, man, I don't need to stop him or tell him anything.
Okay. Sorry about that.
I thought he was just down there and he didn't want to talk to anybody, so I was like, oh. Yeah. Let me tell him. All right, never mind.
Yeah, well.
Still hold your hand, but then let you go.
Yeah, and I think he's still going to head in there, because if nothing else, maybe he'll find something of interest.
You find a nice room. It's got a carpet down of a nice weave. It has a large chair, like a personal chair likely, leather backing and cushion, and then another chair for other people to sit on. There's a nice desk pushed up against the far wall of it, like here. And it looks out on a large window that is here in the back of the boat, so you can see out. It stretches almost the entire way, so it's a real nice view. And there's two more smaller windows here on the side. And it has a small bed, also that pulls down from, I believe I had said it was this wall. Yeah, it did definitely say that.
We have 30 miles to go before we... Yeah, so I think he's going to go sit in one of the nice chairs. He'll look... around mainly to see if there's alcohol or something like wine.
There definitely is. Yeah. There's rum.
So he'll pour himself a small glass of rum. He's not trying to get drunk or anything. Just, he's playing the part of captain, and then he's going to sit down and take a sip. And if no one comes in after a couple minutes, he's going to start just looking through all the drawers and stuff, keeping in. Actually, he'll probably put his bat by the door to listen to see if someone's coming to give him an alertness as he starts rummaging through this place.
So I'm sorry to keep switching it on you guys. He's not a gnome. He is a halfling. I finally found it in the book. He is a halfling.
He's a half gnome
sailor. He's a half gnome sailor. Half gnome. Okay, so you get yourself comfortable. Nobody comes to see you immediately because everybody is fairly preoccupied with the sailing of said ship. The rest of the party finds themselves borderline in the way as these five, including the halfling, whose name not heard yet, are moving around doing what they have to do. So what do you guys do to either get out of the way, stay in the way, or learn something?
Where did the other priest guy go?
He was walking off in the direction that they had come out of through this door.
I think Eustace is going to go slink down that way.
Yeah. Also, oh yeah, that's right. You dropped him off. Never mind. So what'd you do with the button? And then I was like, oh, that wouldn't make any sense. Okay, so Eustace slips off down into the crew's quarters. And what is everyone else doing before I move into any type of narration?
And when I do, I'm going to be, kind of blending in with the shadows, but not obvious kind of idea.
Okay, so roll me a stealth, and let's see. So this, I would say, is sort of even harder than a stealth roll, because you're not just trying to be stealthy, you're trying to be stealthy while looking like you're not being stealthy. So roll me roll me a stealth -2.
-2. Okay. First roll. Second roll. So 18.
2 rolls.
I get advantage because of my tattoo.
Oh, right. Okay. Gotcha. So 18. Yep. So you're able to do so. Yeah. You slip, and you're like in the movies when someone's walking through like the hallway of a club where they know they're not going to be unseen, but they can at least look non-suspicious. That's exactly how you're moving.
And because of my tattoo, I have 60 feet of dark vision, so I can pretty much see.
Yeah, there are. When you get down there, it is lit. There's a lantern.
Lit? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lantern. So like as soon as you walk through the door and down the first step, you there's space above your head, and that space has a lantern, and the stairs spiral down, and then you get into a little narrow hallway, and that is a bit dark because there's nowhere to hang like a lantern because it would bump you in the head. However, one of the doors, 3 doors down on your right, is open, and you can tell that there's light coming from in there as it's beaming out into the hallway.
Okay.
The hallway does not also go much further than that. It goes what seems to be one more door, and then there's a door at the end. All of these doors are sort of imagine cavern doors, you know what I mean? They're not exactly well hung, they're kind of just used as partitions.
Yeah.
It's a rough, shoddy ship. Imagine that. So before we take you from the base of the stairs any further, let's see what Gabe and Theo and Walter are doing.
Gabe is going to post up around the center of I can't see the ship anymore, but just in the center of the deck.
Sorry, I'll switch back to that.
As close as I can to it. That's fine. And I'm just actually going to be standing pretty still because Gabe is starting to get used to kind of have my back against the mast, like this mast right here. Yeah. Gabe's starting to get used to this magical powers that Iron Fang has granted him. And he starts to realize, every time someone takes a footstep, I can tell, even if they're 30 feet away. And he's, I'm going to use my tremor sense to get a head count of everybody on the ship and kind of just keep track of everything as best I can. So if anything seems funky to me, I'll be able to just take action quickly.
Okay. So tremor sense, I think I imagine it correctly. You basically get a sense of everybody who's in the area, who's making noise, causing vibrations, that sort of thing. Okay.
Very much Toph from Avatar.
Exactly what I was imagining. That's perfect. Okay. So obviously you feel Eustace. He's dunking down steps, making lots of vibrations. And him, you can feel if it was a bat sense, you'd see him clearly going down the stairs. You can feel some very faint tremors from the direction in which he's walking, just a little bit ahead of him, but nothing too much. Nobody is probably walking around that person, probably just maybe tapping on something. You feel constant vibrations all over the deck. You know what I mean? I imagine circles just spiraling out everywhere. But the skill lets you get the count. So you know that there are 5 total of the people running around. And then you can, of course, sense Walter and Theo, who are currently just standing off to the side at the moment. And then you can feel Sharrik, who you feel him as he thumps into a chair. You see a big vibration from the back of the boat. So, minus your team. Roll me perception real quick.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you're using tremor sense, but there's just...
Sure. I get advantage on perception thanks to my sentinel shield.
So that makes it even better.
Oh, I don't need it. I nat 20'd it.
Okay.
24.
So, just when you think you've got the count, 5 plus the 1... under the ship there. And I'm sorry, you actually had plainly picked up on one guy who is stomping around. He's literally stomping, yelling orders at people, not yelling them to the halfling, but yelling them at all the other guys that are running around saying, "You're not doing that right, grab that. So you sense him as well. And just when you're about to say, okay, 5 plus 1 plus 1, there's 7 on the deck, you feel these almost imperceivable tremors coming from all the way at the back of the ship, but above the captain with air quotes. And as you look back, bless you. You would notice two people leaning sort of like up against ropes that are, holding things, whatnot. They're sitting on the rail at the back, leaning on these ropes, kind of. One of them is back smoking a cigarette, and the other one seems to be running like a whetstone over something. And they are always glancing around and always looking at everything. But you don't know anything about them. They don't seem to be doing any obvious job. And so the actual total is 9.
Yeah, got it. All right. Also, another thing I just noticed about Iron Fang, it allows me to detect precious metals and stones within 60 feet of me.
Oh, shoot.
Is there any gold or silver or platinum or precious gems on this ship that are just within 60 feet of me, which I'm pretty sure is the whole ship?
Yeah, it would be, I think. Or at least parts of it that would hold people. All right, you'll have to give me a moment on that one. I will look at the people on the ship and see what kind of things they're carrying. And tell me that.
I was mainly curious if there was like a treasure chest or something on here. I'm not interested in like pocket change that people got or whatever.
No, I know, but I'm just saying like everything they have on them is the treasure. Likely because I just have, I just made the boat out of nowhere. Like they didn't have a boat, they're just enemies. So I gave them the boat, and then I just mentioned I would take their gear and make it the treasure. But yes, stones. You feel the presence of a decent little stash of gold. And do you know exactly what it is, or just that it's there, according to the ability?
I do not know. It says I can detect them, so I probably know what they are, but I do not know their exact location.
Okay. So you sense that there is a decent little hoard of gold and 3 rare stones. Let's call them jadeite, but I know the value of them is because that's how this game. I hate that, but that's how this game references everything. But they're basically worth 15 gold pieces each.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm standing right there with my back to the post, but also I'm very interested in whatever those 2 guys that are up against the ropes sharpening their blades, because in my mind I'm like, okay, these are like the enforcers. If some shit goes down, they're going to be the first ones to pop off, so I need to make sure I intercept them.
Oh. And the other 2, Walter, Theo. What are you up to?
Theo's gonna go full on with this whole cultist thing, so he would extend his hands so his owl goes on his shoulder, and then he would walk with his hands like together, looking like he's in a cult, obviously, and just start making his way down to the crew's quarter. He's gonna try to find a table where he can start dismantling his owl and like changing parts and stuff.
Okay. So you're going to be working on your owl, kind of being off the side, not drawing a terribly high amount of attention to yourself. Sounds good. All right. And Walter.
Walter's gonna park himself in a corner and make mushrooms and keep the hood up so he doesn't look super depressed.
I'm sorry. Where were you going?
He's gonna park it in like a corner.
Gotcha.
Like somewhere around here.
All right. Easy enough. All right. So you guys kind of try to take eyes off of you, tension off of you, and you sit down and you start doing just your own things. The ship starts to list forward and then picks up speed. Rather suddenly. If you're on the deck, you'd see that the masts were finally lowered into place and turned into the proper alignment, and the wind catches them and boom, pushes the ship forward quite quickly. And it starts to make some fairly good time up the river. Can Walter and Theo please roll me a perception? Theo, you're working on something, so give yourself a -1. Walter, for you, it's flat. I mean, it's not flat. It's with your abilities.
I rolled well.
All right, with the minus is 16.
Okay. And Walter, what was yours?
23.
23. Okay. Walter, you definitely catch at some point, what to do with this information is up to you. But you catch that the halfling that follows Sholar around, well, who he thinks is Sholar at this point, his name is Pike. And you also overhear that you'll be coming in through the bottom docks, whatever that means. And so that's just some things that you hear over the course of time while the ship travels north and then east a little bit and then north again up the river.
So Pike is a cultist, right?
No.
Oh, who's Pike? Like that, the guy
The
that's
halfling.
like dumb. Okay.
But he's not dumb. He's just the halfling. He's
I didn't say
the one
dumb.
that-
I just didn't finish
Oh.
my sentence.
oh, sorry.
No worries.
So yeah, he's none of the people here on the deck are cultists except the wave caster, the guy in the big ropes.
Oh, okay.
Everybody
They're
else.
called wave casters. Do I know the wave caster's name?
No, he retreated underneath the ship, and we're actually going to go back to Eustace now, who's beginning to walk down the hallway towards that open door. What would you like to do?
Kind of. How many doors past that? Is that the only one?
No, you pass one door on your right, and then a door on your left, and then you reach the open door.
Door on my right, door on the left, and then that's what I'm saying. That door is the last door, though, right?
No,
That he
then
won't
there's one behind it, and then there's one at the end of the hallway, not to the side, but straight back.
Okay, I'm just gonna kind of walk past the door.
Okay.
And then shimmy in a room that's nearby if it's empty.
The door across the hall, you turn the handle. It's obviously not locked. Push it open, and you find a dirty, lived-in little room, but it is empty.
Okay,
And
I was
you
thinking
shuffle
I was
the
kind of I was wanting the one next to his room though.
Oh, okay. The one next to his room, though. So there was one on the right. There was a door on the right. There was a door on the left. Then there was an open door on the right. Then there was a closed door on the left. So the one next to it would be back in front of it the way you came. So you have to pass it again.
Yeah.
Okay, so you then go back past it and the same thing again. Another one, slightly cleaner room, but tight and cramped, and so incapable of being anything other than filled. You push yourself in.
And I just, listen.
Up against the wall sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. These walls are thin, barely even present. They'll just be a -1. And so roll me a perception.
25.
Wow. Okay. So you can hear basically everything he's saying. And he's in there having what at first you mistook probably as a conversation with himself before realizing that he was actually talking to somebody else via some sort of a link. And you hear him say, I don't know if I trust Sholar completely. Well, no, I of course certainly do not. But he's always been malleable enough for my purposes. Now he's suddenly taking directions from another wavecaster. I can't trust this situation. Don't tell me to calm down. It's not going to be fine. This is his ship. I could be at risk. I have to make plans. Perhaps I should remove him completely. We'll talk when I reach the keep. And then the conversation seems to terminate.
Okay.
You would also pick up,
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry, he would also say some random line or something that would give this away. And he'd say, we will speak when I get back and we will figure this out. Or my name isn't Froust. So now you have it.
Okay. After a while of him just blah, 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 and, can I search the room?
Sure. Roll investigation.
Definitely. 23.
Pour over the room. You find 7 pieces of copper, notes, crumpled up pieces of paper, lots of loose tobacco, and empty bottles of rum and wine. Nothing really of much value.
I take the 7 copper.
Of course you do.
Is the tobacco any worth a shit or not really?
No, it's bad.
Okay.
Like it's loose and picked up dog hair.
Okay. Okay. Eventually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and slink back up and kind of, just casually, not necessarily casually walk into the captain's quarters, but, meander and eventually make it to the captain's quarters and then pop in. So it's kind of like I'm, blending in, but I'm not blending in.
Everyone's running around working, and you slip your head through all of a sudden. Sharrik, are you in thought, or would you notice this immediately?
I mean, Sharrik was going to be, as soon as, he would have waited just a few moments, and then started, rummaging through the cabin, but he would have had the, his bat, kind of keeping tabs on the door. So he probably, I don't know, my investigation isn't great, so let me roll and see if I found anything.
Yes, please roll your investigation.
I rolled a 16 on my own.
Oh, okay.
That was my best roll all night.
You are actually going to find a couple of things. One, it's not hard to find. There's a map which is pinned. The top two corners are pinned to the corners of your desk, and so it kind of just looks like a roll of paper there, or of heavy parchment. It's not really paper, but in your ruffling around, you grab it and you realize as you pull it down, it's unrolls, and you see a really beautiful map of the river with details and all the spots where the ship here has spots where it pulls over, where it ambushes people. Basically, there's notes all over it.
Yeah.
So you figure that out right away. And then, right when you're probably about to just be like, all right, well, at least I know where everything is, you go to sit down and realize that the seat is actually hollow, and you remove the seat part, look down, and you see 5 tomes. And the binds of these are all facing outwards, and they all appear to be written in Dwarvish.
Dwarvish. I do not believe that is a language of which I know. I don't.
No, I'm imagining you recognize the font, but not the.
No,
words.
For sure. And I could know Dwarvish. I just don't know it off the top of my head. Because I have comprehend languages.
Right.
But I think at that point, probably right about here, he recognizes what they are, and then the bat starts sending him a message through the head, someone's approaching, and he'll put the seat back and sit back down really quickly and kick his feet up on the desk, sipping the rum as Eustace walks in the door.
Bingo. So Eustace, you open the door, and you see your bud here. Well, you see the captain. You know it's your buddy.
So I slip in and shut the door behind me.
What's going on?
So our buddy, Mr. Flutie Doo, doesn't like you much.
Not overly surprised. Do you want some rum? I'll gesture towards it.
Hell yeah.
He'll pour a glass and slide it over.
So his name is Faust or whatever the hell. He seemed to have been talking to somebody from afar, using magic and shit. So, and something about dealing with the matter once we get ashore. So it's directed at you. He says he's having conflicting, situations. So do we want to do something before we get there, or what?
Perhaps we should start gathering the rest. Should I call them in?
Yeah. I don't have that power right now to link us all together. I need some sleep. So
we have a good trip to the castle. I'm sure we can get you some rest. Hold on. And I'll start. I know generally where they are, so I'm going to point in the direction of... Well, I guess when you open the door... You know what? Screw it. I'm not going to do this magically. I'm going to do this regularly. I'm going to open up the door and go look around, see Theo, Gabriel, and Walter. You 3. Would you get out of my crew's way? Come in the cabin. And hold the door open and then gesture for them to come in, and then I'll walk in before they get there.
And you guys find a nice room. Like, not only is it nice, like, I mean, in this case, it's extra nice. You were on the ship, and I don't know how used to sailing you are, but, like, the water is spitting up at you, and it's rocking loudly. The wind is blowing in your ears. When you step into this room, the sound kind of cuts off a bit. You don't hear the wind blowing. There's no water spraying at you. It's a comfortable change.
All right. I gotta keep the voice up just in case these walls are crap. All right, Eustace.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna give him a quick rundown of what you heard.
So the dude, his name's Froust, and he was talking to the man in charge, I do believe, in the White Castle, and he doesn't like Sholo too much.
Sholar.
Jolar. I'm
Yeah,
Jolar.
that word
Jeez,
too.
how many times I gotta tell you my damn name?
But they're going to do something with him when we get there, so we might need to make a play before we get to the keep.
Do something like what? What do you think they're going to do?
Do what I do.
Dave, just to be clear, I don't think he was, like, it sounded like he was going to speak to someone when he got there. Like, I don't think you would have gotten the impression that they were going to make any immediate moves against Sholar.
I could be blowing this out of proportion, but you know. But
I mean, it's something to keep an eye on.
Was it just because did he seem suspicious? He didn't like the way that Sholar was acting.
tone of it was that he's questioning, you know, like he's like, we trust him, but there's something funny about him, something this, that, and the other, you know, so we might
He's
need
just worried
to, like,
about his authority here.
I think so. The guy looks like pompous ass.
I mean, it wasn't my best performance. I will admit that. Okay,
It
but
seemed like maybe you fooled him, but I mean, maybe he just doesn't
Well,
like how powerful this Sholar is.
Yeah, it's that whole situation bringing us on board and not informing, you know, him specifically that, you know, this, that, and the other. So I think that's where he's butthurt about it.
He's just mad he was out of the loop.
Yeah, exactly.
Excuse me, DM.
Yes.
I'd like to make sure no one is leaning in close to, like, the door or the floor or something, trying to hear what we're saying. And I do, like,
Yeah,
can I
sure.
do perception with, like, combining with my tremor sense?
Yep, absolutely. Does that give, like, is that a set extra, or are you just basically doing a tremor sense?
This is me using tremor sense to make sure no one's, like, putting their ear up against
Got
the
it.
surface.
Yeah, you don't pick up on any tremors right outside the door. That's an automatic thing. You don't have to roll for that, right?
Yeah, I did roll perception. It was like 18 plus 4, but
Okay, so so extra, you're like able to perceive it and also make sense of it. If there's nobody there.
all right. As long as no one's listening in, I won't say anything.
I'm thinking it's probably just something to keep an eye on. If we make a move, we also have to deal with probably the crew and anyone else who might be loyal. And
Yeah, well, that's why
We're
I'm just
outnumbered. It's
raising
9
the red
against the 5
flag.
of us.
I mean, we're going to be outnumbered when we get to the River Guard Keep.
Yeah.
But,
For
yeah,
sure.
I think some of us, I'm sure, need a rest.
Yeah.
I'm thinking,
Also,
Once I split.
We can't start shit on the boat.
yeah.
We'll never make it. If we
Well, that's
kill
the
it,
thing.
we can't-
I
no one
honestly
knows how to sail.
know nothing about ships. That's why I'm in here and not out there giving orders. I mean, I've been on them, but they were like pleasure yachts with like a bunch of slaves and stuff. So it really, all I did was drink and eat, and yeah.
This life that you have is
It was
fascinating.
It was really good. That's why I'm pissed off and want to take care of it and get it back. But now here I am, traveling in someone else's shoes.
So maybe you should stay.
That's well, and I'm thinking all of us stay in here and limit the amount of impact you four have on the crew.
Would that be weird to just
Well, I mean,
have you just
Eustace,
have
you
us
walked
all in
around. Were there other locations for everybody else to stay on the ship?
I mean, since the crew's running around, their shoddy rooms are open for.
Well, I mean,
People to
they're gonna want them
camp out
eventually. Probably don't want you guys poking in there. I say we take that risk if they think too much of
They
it.
didn't They didn't lock them.
Yeah, well, I'd say we take the risk of you guys here. It keeps us together. If something does happen, we're all a group. Also, any of you guys speak Dwarvish, or do I need to take some time to speak it myself?
Yeah, I do. Oh, good.
You into reading? And I'll stand up and like pull out the tomes from the false seat.
Shit. That's a lot of tomes.
What is this? I'm sorry. Sam was out taking care of his kid.
There were several tomes hidden in a false seat within the captain's chair, but they're in Dwarvish. And while I can learn to speak Dwarvish in 10 minutes, if you want to give them once over.
I start reading.
You don't mind if I take a nap?
Please. Fine.
I'm gonna crash out on the bed.
I was sleeping in the ring on the way over, so when we were first going over, so I'm kind of good. I'll actually take 10 minutes as Gabriel's starting to look at that book. I'll take 10 minutes to cast the ritual to comprehend languages. And then I'll start reading. I believe that gives me reading ability as well. Understand the literal meaning of any spoken language. Oh, you also understand any written language that you can see. So, yeah, I'll start reading one of the other books.
Okay. So from Gabe, can I get a intelligence test with proficiency?
Hey, don't laugh. I'm pretty smart.
No, I was laughing because that means I'll probably get one, and I am
actually
smart.
You won't.
Oh, thank God.
The reason, well, you'll hear why.
It's fine. Yeah.
You're learning the language that it is.
Yeah.
That's why.
You said intelligence plus proficiency or no?
Yes, with proficiency, because you know.
All right, so I rolled an 18 on the die, plus 1, plus 3. What's my proficiency now?
Yeah, plus 3. Yeah.
3. So 22.
Okay.
Nice.
And then roll me a history test as well.
Big brain on Brad.
Now you have familiarity with the dwarven culture, correct?
Yes, grew up in a dwarven orphanage. Yep.
Right, that's why. And the history test?
History test was not as great. It came out to 13.
Okay, not terrible, but not great. All right, so the intelligence test, it was difficult to read this at first. You can clearly see that it's Dwarvish. That's not a mistake on his part. But it doesn't seem like many versions of Dwarvish that you've ever seen. You are reading it and you get through. You actually do better than you expect, and you start reading it. It starts to flow a little bit better. It's kind of like reading Shakespearean, only then you remember, like, oh yeah, I read this in junior high. Like, I know how this stuff reads. And you start kind of like okay. And it doesn't really make a lot of sense. But it starts to get you thinking about what it might be. You can see the title of it, but like what that is, it doesn't ring a bell right off the top of your head. And you think, and you can't really recall exactly the importance, but this seems like an important text that you'd heard about once. Not like earth-shatteringly important, but just like an ancient tome that had been spoken about.
It's not something this guy wrote. This is an actual history, book of
yes,
okay.
Yeah. And so, this is kind of like, it's like ringing a bell is like something like, oh, yeah, what's that thing called? I can't recall. But it's like, how in the real world there are like collection of Welsh documents, a collection of, Italian documents, and Iraq, which would have been Persian documents. And people know of them. They're like, oh, yeah, that's the whatever papers or the whatever documents. That's like this. You're getting that feeling. You're like, oh, but you can't recall.
Damn. All right.
But from the reading, you can get that these are, the one that you're reading at least, is sort of like an epic tale. It's like a Beowulf. It's telling the story of a dwarf and his followers and what they have to do to accomplish this task that they're on.
This book means something. God, I should have paid more attention in Dwarven class. It was assigned reading, but I always skipped out on the assigned reading to go learn how to fight. Shit. No,
At least you learned how to fight. I skipped out on assigned reading for other reasons.
That's fair. Well, you learned how to get onto boats with people feeding you. So, yeah. I'm going to keep reading this book and see if anything clicks.
You can make me without the language roll because you learned the actual old dialect that you set out to learn. So the meaning magically comes to you. You know exactly what each of these words mean. So just roll me a history, but do so with a -2 because you are not familiar specifically with horticulture.
Oh, wow. That is a 16.
Okay, so you are actually familiar with this text, at least to some degree. You know the region from which it hails. This is called, in many of the layman circles, the historical accounts of the old kingdom of Delzoon.
During this time that I have the thing up and I glance at the other ones, they're all like, it's a compendium sort of a thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like they weren't necessarily written together, but collectively they're known as the historical documents of Delzoon.
Oh. Wow. I actually read parts of this in Chondathan once. I'd never seen it in the native tongue. It actually flows better. Well, I didn't realize Sholar was such a, history buff. Makes me kind of wish we hadn't left him on a shore somewhere. Well, I'm sure there was something, if nothing else. Right, Eustace? Books go for good amounts of money, right? You people that sell everything to make money.
Actually, if
You
you don't
actually
mind,
look over and you see Eustace sleeping, but something's different about him. It's like the shadows and whatnot of the bed has left like parts of him not there.
When you think a guy can't get any creepier, he just somehow figures out.
not even trying.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
natural to him.
he's asleep. How?
It's crazy.
It's like those
honestly,
those people that
that's
sleep with their
why-
eyes open. It's like,
Yeah.
but
In
creepier.
Waterdeep, he'd be the scariest dude in town.
Yeah,
This would give him mad respect points. So this is good for him.
I guess given his chosen occupation path.
But actually, Sharrik, if you don't mind, I'd like to hold on to these books.
Yeah, that's fine. No problem. I mean, I might want to borrow them from time to time, brush up a little bit. Brings back some good
Please.
memories. But it does take a little bit of effort for me to read them. So, have them.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you ever want to actually learn, I could teach you how to read Dwarven, like for real.
Oh, that'd be kind of cool. That requires a lot of work, and I like to take the magical jump from there, but I do appreciate the offer.
That's fair. Yeah, I would if I could. Too.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to spend long hours of you teaching me
with
something.
rulers to teach me, so yeah.
I'm imagining this scene from Billy Madison. That is correct.
All right. By the way, would anyone else want rum? It's not amazing, but it's a decent rum.
Yeah. Sure. I haven't had anything to drink in a while.
Pour
Rum
a
is my
glass.
favorite, so yeah.
Can we take a short rest?
Yes, you can.
I mean, we could probably take long rests because it's 30 miles, even on a boat. It takes a little while to.
It's gonna be at least
You'd actually be
What's the
surprised.
boat going like 4 miles an hour? Like,
It's actually not. It's a wind-powered river ship. So I actually looked up online as to what medieval ships that age could do, and it actually is moving at somewhere around 12 miles an hour.
Oh, she. Okay, so
holy
a couple
shit.
hours. Relax. Take a rest. I'll keep an eye out. Like I said, I was sleeping in the ring on the way over and did not expend a lot of resources, so I will keep an eye out.
Yeah, all my resources are intact, so I'm good. I'm just gonna chill out and read the book and just kind of like keep my passive perception up with my tremor sense. So if anyone starts, people start congregating and acting all, weird out where we can't see them, I want to be aware of it.
And before we eventually leave, I am going to end up stealing this map, but for the moment I'm going to leave it tacked down so that it doesn't look like I've rummaged and ransacked this guy's office.
Wait, I'm sorry, you're going to take the map, but leave it?
Eventually I'm going to take the map. I just want to say it now in case I forget, like when
Got
we're
it.
leaving.
Got it.
Sharrik would grab it right before we get off the boat, but he doesn't want, like, let's say someone comes in to talk to him, he doesn't want him to see that the map's been moved.
Gotcha. That makes sense. So the 3 hours passes fairly quickly, I imagine. probably were expecting a longer trip. So you're all resting, maybe thinking that you'd get maybe a long rest, but no, as some of the more perceptive ones might notice, the shore is going by fairly quickly, and it makes you make your way up the river. We are going to pause right there because Theo is going to be hopping off here at this point, and so it seems like a good point to take a 10-15 minute break.
Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for yet another XP Guild show. If you are enjoying this, please do us a favor, click like, subscribe, hit the bell notification if you want to be notified when our next show goes live. Feel free to drop us a comment. We'd love to hear from you guys, hear your thoughts on the show, or anything else you want to talk about. I'd like to take a quick moment to say thank you to our friends over at Hero Forge, a Skycastle LLC product. We are not sponsored by them, but if you're looking for great custom miniatures, check out HeroForge.com. They've been so kind to let us use their art, as many of the miniatures and artwork that we use come from their website with their permission. However, they have not reviewed our content, and so what we do does not necessarily represent their views or beliefs. Again, thank you to Hero Forge. Now, let's get back to the show.
So the ship makes its way pretty speedily up this river, and before you know it, actually, say, roll me a performance, Bill.
Performance?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, natural one.
Oh,
Oh, wait. I was given advantage by Jose, right?
Of course you were.
left.
Yeah, Shadow Soldier, he gave it to you before he left.
That's okay. Cheater proof. Natural one again.
Oh, man.
Really?
All right, that's okay. It's not a big check, but so you were probably expecting like an 8-hour trip or so, or at least when you saw that it was moving faster than you had originally expected, maybe you thought, oh, maybe we'll make it in 6 hours. But you make it there in like 3.5. Because, like I said, it's moving a pretty good clip, and so Pike comes kind of pushing open the door, and he's like, "Captain, we're ready," and you're not set at all. Like, like I said, you thought you had time, so you're kind of lounging in full Sharrik mode, not doing as much of the Sholar. So what does that look like? Like, what does he see you doing that's Sharrik-like, but not Sholar-like?
I think he's still in, like, he kept the Sholar face up, but he is, like, lounging back. His feet are kind of, like, draped over the arm of the chair and, like, crossed. And he's more like watching Gabriel as he's reading the book. And he's sitting there like with the rum, almost like treating it like a wine, like taking these little dainty sips and like kind of just staring over at Gabriel.
Oh my god!
And so you
best.
take, yeah, that is really good because you're looking at Gabriel and then you like take a sip and your eyes wander towards the door and you see Pike is just standing there like with the door open. And he goes, Captain?
Yeah.
Ready to disembark?
Of course. What took us so long?
It's like Stardust when they're walking on the captain on the airship.
Oh, hey, are you ready? Oh, yeah, totally ready.
I'll gather the cultists and we'll be right out.
Okay. He shuts the door, and you hear him on the other side going, "Weird today. Smack me." He just walks away. You hear the slightly lighter footsteps of a halfling as he crosses the deck. You guys, rally yourselves. You've gotten your short rest in. You are able to take those benefits in case you have not yet. And then you leave the captain's quarters and you step out onto our ship.
I am for sure taking the map. And then,
yes, that's right.
Yeah, I think Gabe's taking the books, and there's nothing else that we came across that was like overly valuable or looked like it was important.
Right.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah. No. You got the. Yeah. You didn't. You know of the presence of some gold and stuff, but you didn't find that necessarily. So on the screen, you see the River Guard key.
Oh.
You
Pretty cool.
you heard as you were getting prepared to leave, Pike shouting to somebody, and as you walk out to the deck, you see that chain that's slumped across in the front there of the picture, being unhooked from one side and then pulled across on the other side, so that it's lowered, and the ship goes through slowly and creeps up to a small dock, which is right here and leads directly to this staircase that you see on the picture. So imagine kind of the scene that you're seeing here, but with a bigger boat. This picture isn't perfect to my setting. So you are stopped there. The dock is lower than the ship, so you have to use the external rope ladder to descend down. And when you do, you guys are standing out on, like I described, a short dock, gray skies, that blue and white flag that you had seen on the ship, waving a thin version of it, probably imperceivable from any great distance, flapping in the wind here. And you see an overall keep that's in somewhat of disrepair, clearly older than the group currently residing.
As we're kind of getting ready to get off, is there a time when like the halfling is kind of off to the side somewhere, or somewhere where I can kind of step over to him, in particular without Faust nearby?
Yeah, I mean, as the captain, I think you could definitely make that moment happen.
I think at some point Sharrik would walk over to him. Faust is acting a little strange. A little worried what might be going on. After you unload here and get ready, push off again, maybe wait outside the keep if I need to. I'd rather you outside of the chain than in.
Faust is always strange.
Something's different, I don't know. It could just be me. I'll signal you if it's time to come back.
Roll me one more deception.
Okay. I'm pushing it, but not feeling it. Deception. Come on. 14.
Okay. He looks at you and just kind of, all right, if you say so, Captain. I'll wait on the banks. Okay, so basically, if you're looking out of the keep, he describes a spot on the left bank that you should be familiar of, although you wouldn't necessarily be. However, he describes enough that you think you'd know where it is if you had to find it.
Also, I grabbed the map out of my quarters. I wanted to speak to them inside about something I noticed.
Well, good luck. Jolly's kind of an idiot.
Yeah, well, that's why I brought the map. Maybe I can point things out better.
He chuckles. Yeah, well, we'll see. Maybe you could draw him a few pictures. All right, I'll take the ship out.
Good man.
And so, yep. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, then I climb down with the rest as if I'm escorting them in. I'm assuming Faust is coming as well.
Yes, he is. He has someone here. And
generally going to try to make it so that we're following him in without looking like he's guiding us to where we have to go, sort of a thing.
Okay, so let's have you do it again. Roll me a performance. You have to act like you know where you're going while simultaneously trying to do this without knowing.
No.
Well, he's...
No.
I was going to say, while he's trying to pull this performance off, Gabe would definitely, as soon as his feet touch the ground, the dock, I want to see if I can sense anyone hiding within 60 feet, setting up an ambush or anything like that.
I mean, you sense people around, most of them visible. There's somebody else at the edge of the dock working on some ropes, and you see somebody else come out of a door, the building in front of there that you can see in the picture, and walk to one of the other buildings that you can't quite see in the picture. So you see people and you match them to their tremors, and you sense some other people inside these buildings. Nothing particularly gives across any violent intent.
That was an 8 in performance, by the way.
So if anybody else wants to try to assist Sharrik here.
I'm trying to think how I would.
Well, the performance?
Yes.
Like some way to make it look like I know what I'm doing or whatever. Like you spot something or.
Okay. Can I roll a perception to see
Yeah. I mean, you're trying to watch to see where Fraus is going without giving away that you don't know. So perception would definitely work.
Okay, a 19?
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, roll
Okay.
a 12 plus 7.
So that's going to allow you a reroll on that performance.
All right, perfect. That puts it at a 19.
Okay. So yeah, you're able to kind of pull that move off, whatever you want to call that, when you don't know where you're going, but somebody else does. And so kind of like copying their homework without giving away that you didn't do
totally
yours.
copying the test in chemistry class where you're like, okay, A, all right, cool.
And he makes his way up here to the keep.
All right.
And so you follow. As you do, you've seen people moving around. They're doing things that you would look familiar to you, having just been at Wamford with lots of docks and ships coming in. Lots of people doing lots of the same activities. Tarring ships and mending masts and all that sort of thing right out in the open. I mean, it's not like a crowded street, but you see a few people working on these activities. And then you come to the large door in front of the keep, barracks, whatever you want to call it. You, the Fraus pushes open the door and looks back at you for a second. Kind of like, you following me? Whatever. He looks forward again and pushes in. And it opens up to a place that you see 9 double bunks, each with a pair of footlockers, and there are doors to the north, west, and east, in addition to this door on the south where you are entering. And what would you like to do? Continue following him, or
Can we?
something else?
I think he'd turn to Eustace first and kind of like palm him his ring so that Eustace has his ring just in case. Do you see any where we should be heading other than following this man? It didn't sound like that was the right move.
Yeah, the whole time I'm looking around for other potential, ways of going and whatnot. So
We're trying to find the river guard, right?
I mean, this is their keep, so we're kind of trying to figure out, hopefully, the head of the snake here that we can take care of and end their domination of this area. But I don't know where to start. We kind of walked in the front door, and now we gotta figure out how to get around without having everyone jump on us all at once.
Wouldn't the head
I
be
wouldn't
the
know.
cult?
Yeah, someone in it, but we don't exactly
Wait,
know.
no. They told us the name of the guy, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
well,
They did.
It's
Gar Shatter Kiel, the prophet of the water cult.
yeah,
okay.
but the person who is like the head captain, Sholar was talking to us about him. Grimjar.
Grimjar, yeah.
Yeah, Jolliver Grimjar.
Yep.
He told us before. Even Pike said it. He's like,
Oh, okay.
Jolly's a idiot or something like that.
That name was dropped when I was not here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we have to find him.
Yep, Grimjar, yeah. Jolliver.
All right.
Okay.
First, did Eustace spot anything that might indicate who might, if anyone here? Otherwise, I think Sharik's gonna look around for someone who looks like he would be a regular soldier or like a regular river guard member who would be under the captain, like as far as like rank, and see if he could just ask him where Jolly is.
Worst comes worst, we can always start with our lovely friend Faust. I do have other things that I can use. So you may roll anything, Rory?
So you're
My
asking
passive
someone.
perception.
You're asking someone where is Grimjaw?
Well,
Or
first Eustace, I think, is just doing a scan just to kind of get an idea if there's some indication, building, something like that might indicate, where we should start heading.
Anything potentially going down?
Yeah.
Or,
Then definitely give me a perception.
Yes. It was like 14. So 21.
Nice.
21. Okay. Yeah, you look around, and what you see are about three, I would say three, of what you're coming to assume are your river guard men, river guard women, river guard. I don't want to call them soldiers because they kind of do everything, right? They're like a gang. They're all the people that run the surface level banditry that they've been running on the river here. They're sort of distinct in that they're a bit slovenly and rough around the edges. And three of them here are playing a card game in the corner of this room around a table. All the bunks are sort of disheveled, but you can tell with that roll that there are definitely about 12 people sleeping in this large room regularly. Out of the 9 double bunks, so that would make 18 beds. 12 of them seem occupied. Other than that, you do see Frost has gone back to the room, the exit in the back here. I'm sorry, you guys didn't actually. I apologize. You didn't come in from the south. You came in from the east, and so he's going through the door opposite of you in the west, and you see that it's not the exit to the hall or the keep or barracks, whatever you want to call it. It's actually to another room. So you can tell from that there is also at least one other room here in this building.
Do we have a map of this place? Or is it just going off of outside of...
That's right.
What we have right now is a picture. Yeah, what we have is a picture.
I can get
That's right. Either way.
a map here.
I think, given this, Sharrik will walk over to the 3 playing cards or whatever, gambling. Where's Grimjar at?
They look up, and the first one doesn't look up. He just says, "Who the hell are you?" And then one of the other one does look up and goes, "It's that river captain. Grimjaw? You want to know where Jolly is?"
Yeah, I want to know where Jolly is.
He's usually in the Great Hall. I don't know what the hell he's doing in there, but that's where I'd guess.
All right. Excellent. I have these damn cultists they made me bring here, so... Do one of you have time to stop your playing and lead these guys in?
Get him in where? What are the cultists? Nah, just take him to Jolly. He knows what to do with them. We try not to...
Yeah,
not to get
I have
involved
a
in
ship.
that.
I need to get ready. You guys, someone take them to Jolly for me.
Roll me a persuasion or intimidation. Actually, might be more appropriate in this case.
Oh, fuck on. Natural 1 for a 5.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, what is up with
I
that?
don't know. There's so many bad rolls.
Totally breaks my theory.
Yeah.
Okay, so they all chortle and they go, "Well, I mean, you can have them sit down. When we finish up, we'll take them over."
Fine, useless. Start grumbling, and then I'll, I guess, head towards the door opposite where we entered.
This way, the way the Skyweaver was going.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
River.
As we walk
Wave.
away from...
Yes, as you walk away. Sorry.
Yeah, as we walk away from them, we could do what we did with the Medusa. Like you pretend to be still the captain. We do that whole, I'm bringing you new recruits, blah, 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 and we position ourselves.
I mean, it's kind of what we're doing, isn't it?
You could just
but
go to Jolly.
well, that's
Yeah.
what we're
Right.
doing.
I'm trying to figure
So,
out what
yeah.
the fuck Jolly is. I have no jolly idea where
He
Jolly
said-
is.
Well, you said
Okay, I'm sorry. You just didn't know
they
where the
said he
hall
was
is.
in.
I was
Great
trying
Hall,
to
but
get
you don't know
someone
where
else
it
to
is.
take you, and then I would
Yeah.
just jump in the ring and follow
Right.
along.
Right.
Okay, I'll just chime up, I
No,
guess,
it's
if
okay.
you want, and I
Nah.
can just ask the people.
No, it's okay.
I mean, there's no reason why I
not.
shouldn't know.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to know. So we're just gonna fake it till we make it.
So you
Okay,
enter the
man.
back room and you open that door, and that is opening up into an armory. You see lots of equipment, extra shields, leathers, daggers, dagger hilts that need to be reset, arrows that have been fletched and not, have tips put on, all the basic steps of building equipment and storing it.
Is there arrows that are ready to go?
Well, you don't see anything because you're not there unless you follow them.
Oh, well, who? I thought we all went together as a group.
Oh, if you do, yeah. He just said he went from the card game over here to this room.
Oh,
if you're all walking with him, that's
no.
fine.
It's the NPC that did that, not
No, I went in.
straight.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I went in. But no one else had said, I'm going to follow him. So I'm going to kind of assume that most of them are going to follow me, but I'll leave that up to them, obviously.
I'll follow because there's no reason why I shouldn't follow this guy to where he's going because he's supposed to be taking us to Jolly. So
Okay.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah, I mean
follow.
that's what I assumed too. That we was following.
Yeah, but they had said you guys can all sit down and they'll take you when they get around to it. So I just wasn't sure if you sat down and were doing that or if you were following him still. So that's why I wasn't sure.
I'm not sitting down.
Okay, so you all just keep following him, which is fine because they didn't really mean it, and you could almost certainly tell that they didn't really mean it. So that's they wouldn't be surprised. They probably laugh when they see you walk off after him. You do see, however, another door in the back of this room over here.
But we're alone in this armory?
Yes, you are alone.
I'm going to wait for everyone else to get in here.
Okay.
All right, guys, we need to do some scouting, I think. Sharrik is me. I am not as perceptive. So, Eustace, can you check the doors? Maybe see if you can peek around?
Yeah, I got it.
And if, honestly, if there's no one on the other side of the door, I can put my bat out there, send them around a little bit, get the lay of the land, because I am freaking no clue here.
I mean, I could turn into an animal that, like a rat or something. And then I can go around and scurry to see what's what, where's... I don't know what Jolly looks like. But at least I can find the hall.
Where the Great Hall's at, too,
Yeah, the Great Hall.
Either way, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
If you are all comfortable with that.
Okay. Then I'll be shape.
And I'll get Walter through the door. We'll check it, see if it's unlocked.
Okay, it is.
Okay.
Is there any holes underneath? Not holes, but like slots? Or are they all like seamless?
No, it's definitely not seamless. This place is in rough condition. Almost.
Okay.
You can almost assume everything has some flaw to it in this place because it's being repaired, but it's nowhere near complete. So basically always assume a flaw, and I'll let you know if there isn't for some reason.
Okay. Well, then that's not too hard for a rat to get through because...
No, they can flatten themselves out. You can slide underneath this door, no problem. And you find yourself in another courtyard, space between what you're now seeing is... you know what? Open up most of this, so the rat would see this all. So you'd glance around, and you see that essentially the castle wall, whereas on the ship side, sort of open for ships to pass through, it's completely closed in here in the back, making this little rear courtyard. There's a gatehouse at the corner, and you can also see that same kind of build out in the opposite corner over here. You don't see what's inside, actually. But you see the structure overall. And...
Okay, where am I?
So you are...
Just get a picture of a rat real quick.
Yeah, you're right there, exactly where you are.
Once she's out, I will point in her direction and send a message. Walter, is it safe for us to come out?
Yes, I can see... I don't really see anybody. Right? It's just empty halls.
Holy hell.
No, that's not there. I'm just trying. I can't get my tokens to shrink, like everything I put down. So I was trying to put NPCs for that guy, but this is as small as it'll get for me for some reason.
I can shrink if you need. For some
yeah.
reason.
Oh, okay. All right. So if I have to put something down, I'll put it down and then have you shrink it. Okay. Yeah, I just was flustered.
All right.
All right.
I'll send a message. Continue to scout. Maybe find the direction, and we will come out.
Okay.
And I'll give him a second, and then open the door and exit. Although I think I'll wait for Eustace to do whatever stealing of arrows, if he can find it, or whatever he is looking for in this room.
Oh, yes, that's right. Eustace, yes, there are definitely finished arrows. There's a whole basket of them. So if you need some, just say how many you're taking, and you can put them into your quiver. There are plenty.
Yeah, I'm going to take 10.
You don't even actually have to say how many. You just say like a lot or a little. It sounds like you're taking like a medium amount, like a handful.
Yeah, not too much, but just in case. Is there anything else of value in this room?
I mean, all the weapons and things have value.
Well, yeah.
But most of it is also fairly heavy and cumbersome to carry. So
Something that sticks out.
No, there's nothing of unusual quality here in this room.
Okay. I'm good to go.
All right, let's go. So he'll let Walter, he'll wait a beat and then let Walter run around. Oh, there we go. I'll move Walter off and make the rat smaller. And we'll step out.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Can you what?
No, I was just thinking, can we do it, just like we were... Well, never mind. That makes no sense whatsoever what my brain is thinking. Okay.
Okay, so it's the Great Hall. So I'm assuming that there's food there. Great Hall seems like people eat there. So I have advantage against checks that I have to use my nose, like sense of smell.
Okay.
So can I do a perception check for that?
Absolutely, with advantage because you're using your smell.
Cool.
That's cool. I love it.
That is cool. Nice use of the animal.
17.
Oh, that doesn't. Yeah. So you are definitely catching whiffs from upside. I'm actually looking at the map too on D&D Beyond because that one has the information on it, and so I go to draw on it, and then I'm like, oh shit. Your rat senses are catching whiffs of food odor coming from this arrow slit on the northern side of this courtyard.
Okay. I can't telepathically talk back to you because you use message.
I mean,
So,
do you...
I'm just gonna go walk towards where I think we should go.
Yeah, if you make indications or something, I think Sharrik will... Yeah, he'll message you. What have you found, my friend?
I don't know if you guys could hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over here.
Did you find something, Walter? Messaging in.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah, I think it's over here because I smell a lot of food over here. Great Hall must have food.
Is that arrow slit within hands reach? Could I reach up and put
Or
the
is it
rat
10
in the
feet
window?
up?
I'm sorry, I was reading a note on D&D Beyond. You said you wanted to look through the window?
Well, I mean, could I lift the rat up to the window?
Oh. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I'll peek in too, but I'll peek in as I'm lifting Walter up towards the window to try to get Walter a chance to kind of look inside, and then I can message Walter and get a better lay of the land.
Yeah.
I could send my bat too, but let's let Walter do something fun.
So you look in, and you see, as you're putting Walter in, you see a man.
Drop it like
Shrink that down.
Oh my god. Okay, so I thought it was that big. I was like,
Thank you very much. No, just a regular size.
Jolly's
medium
a
human.
giant.
Jolly green giant.
Oh.
Nice. So you look in and you see somebody sitting at a desk. In front of them, kind of lounged back, there are papers spread out on the desk in stacks, and he's holding one in his hand, and the person starts reading slowly. You can tell reading is not their favorite thing to do, and he's saying, Troublemakers are currently in Wamford. Could continue to be a probable on site.
Oh,
I
baby.
love this guy so much.
Who sent this? It's got nothing on it. Jeez. Anonymous sources. What am I? The Daily Star? Get out of here. Throws it away. What's going on? I'm getting reports from everything. Wagon loads of this, silver pieces for that. I didn't know this job was going to come with so much accounting.
Is he talking to himself?
No, he seems to be talking to somebody, though. Who it is, you can't see. Looking straight through. Well, this I'm describing is what Sharrik sees. Now, you, as a rat, slip through the sill and are sitting on the little triangular piece of stone on the other side of the hole, like not on the ground yet, is what I'm saying. What would you like to do here, now that you've been pushed through?
Yeah, I'm going to go in to see if he's talking to anybody.
You slip in, easily drop to the ground. You're trying to be quiet, so roll me stealth with advantage, as I believe that's what rats get to do.
I don't know if I can do that.
I'm giving you advantage because they're small.
Okay.
So it would not be as easy to see, so I think that needs to be reflected somehow.
And I think once now Sharrik knows generally where this thing is, he's going to start walking because he doesn't want Walter in there for too long by himself without backup. So he's going to walk and start trying to make his way to that location.
Oh, I rolled not well.
Not well.
That's a 7.
Okay. Even with advantage?
Yeah, I rolled a 5 and a 4.
Holy jeez.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you drop down and you make a bit of noise. Grimjaw looks over towards you and he says, "Oh, jeez. And this place is filled with rodents. I just leave it for now. This place needs to be addressed. We need to get this under control. We've been working night and day on this, and we're still getting nowhere. We got to find a way to get these repairs done sooner. I hate living like this. I'm supposed to have perks." And you kind of crawl around. You're quick as a rat, so he sees you, but he doesn't bother. And then, I imagine you kind of slip in somewhere. I don't know. You're kind of running as a rat would, I imagine, being quick and nimble. And you notice that there are 3 other people in this room. 2 are sitting, or more like leaning up in the corners. And one of them is sitting at this table actually having the conversation with Grimjaw.
Okay. Do I recognize any of them?
No, you wouldn't recognize any.
Are they wearing robes? Do I recognize the robes? Or
Actually, the one at the table is wearing blue robes. The 2, though, at the back are wearing the same color fabrics. They're not robes. However, they are similar to the clothing that the 2 shadowy figures on the ship were wearing. So they're more like adventuring clothes, form fit and able to be moved around in, but they have the same color palette as the robes worn by Faust and by this person here.
Okay.
These 2 in the back happen to be women. The person sitting at the table is a man.
Is the black stuff going to come off the map? Or?
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Are those stairs going up?
Yes. This is a 2-story building.
Okay. I'm going to go upstairs.
Okay.
Do they let me by?
Yeah, they're sitting away from you and you're a little rat. You basically just take off and run up the stairs before any of them could do anything regardless. And he had said, leave it. And there's other, you once you're a rat, you notice that you're not the only rat here. You can sense them. The room is definitely occupado.
Okay, great. I picked the right animal to turn into. All right, yeah, I want to go upstairs and see what's up there.
Okay. So, if you look to the left of that room, you'll see that room is represented over here on the map.
On the side.
So you come up these stairs and you find a landing. It's sort of like a half room, right? It opens up and like a loft. So right here is just above him.
Okay,
and
cool.
The rest is open.
Yeah, I'm going to go and look in the rooms for fun.
Okay.
Nice.
I imagine you kind of like slivering in each one, slipping in, looking around.
Yep. Anywhere my head can fit, I'll go through it.
Exactly. So the first one you slip into, the room on the left-hand side of the small hallway, so the one on the left-hand side of that hallway, when you squeeze your head in, is another room with bunks. 4 bunk beds line the walls. To the south, an arrow slit that looks outside beyond the walls. And a door exists which exits to the outside. That's what you can tell from looking in. You sliver yourself out. There was nobody in there. Oh, I'm sorry. I lied. There are 2 people in there. Actually, roll me perception.
Okay, so the left or the right?
Left.
Okay.
This one.
That one.
Did you give yourself advantage? Because you could do this with scent. It's
okay,
perception of all type, like as a rat.
Gotcha. Oh, way better. 18.
So you sniff around and look around, and you can catch the whiff of a heavy odor of humans. And there are 2 of them currently in here right now.
Okay.
Then you pull yourself out of the room, turn behind you, and squeeze into the next room, which has old bookshelves lining the walls. Most are empty. One old shelf has been cleared and restocked with a selection of huge tomes. So you slip your head and you see these huge books on the shelf right in front of you, but almost like everything else is pretty much empty. There's a single bed that sits under a narrow window at the far end of the room, near a small desk with a wooden chair and a chest. The floor appears wet.
The floor is wet. Okay. Is it strange? Is the rest of the floor that I've been crawling on not wet?
No, not particularly.
How damp is it?
It's pretty damp.
Like squishy?
Yeah.
Okay. Like water?
Yeah.
Okay.
And those are the only rooms that you can access. So you do.
Is there writing on the tomes? Like on the binding?
Not honestly that I think you can make out from the door if you go into the room.
Yeah, I
fully.
go into the room.
Okay.
Can I like roll an investigation so I don't like get caught up in some shit?
Yeah. No. You can roll me perception.
Okay.
To make sure that nobody is coming in.
17.
Nice. So you listen for a second. Pretty sure you're clear. You crawl up to the bookshelf and crawl along it. And you read out a series of names to yourself. They're all on nautical topics, charts, ship's logs, basically anything on the nautical topic you can find here.
Ship's logs?
Yep.
So like someone who wrote down where they were and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, but it does look well bound. Like this is probably a notorious ship's log, something that has certain historic value and not necessarily
I
recent.
see. Can I see what ship it was?
Not without opening it, and it's like I don't know how you do that as a rat.
I mean, if it's bound, I can just chew through the leather.
Oh, you can do that. It'll take you a little while.
Yeah.
Meanwhile. Meanwhile, so as you chew on the leather binding out in the yard.
We're out front. I think we're going to make our way around. I can't see what's under that. But
yep, let me get rid of that. So you come around this corner and you see 2 huge doors here and... I'm sorry, I need to get over onto this. Here and stairs leading away. And you see a door right here to a building that juts out from the wall, which you can see.
Yeah. I think he'll turn to everyone else. Do we just leave Theo on the boat, I'm assuming, to keep track of things, or how do you handle that?
No, Theo's with you.
Okay. I'll turn to the rest of the group. All right. Walter went in. Our big guys are in this room. We're about ready to go in. I'll let Walter know that we're ready to go in. Anything else we need or want to do before we step in?
Do we know how many people are inside?
Let me send Walter a message. I could just see the big guy from the doorway. And I'll point towards so the direction of in the direction that I think Walter would be, but it says only the target would hear me. So I think it's general sense. As long as Walter's within 120 feet of me, I'll point. Walter, we're about to head in. Anything we need to know? Anything you need to be ready for? Anything you need us to do?
I want to hold off on that until she gets back.
Oh, sorry. I have 8 things open. I didn't see that Walter was going.
But while you're trying to ask Walter that, I would like to put myself like right here. And what is at least 5 foot squares?
10 foot squares.
Oh, okay.
10
So
foot
we
squares.
should be a little smaller.
Wait, I think. Sorry, let me actually double check because the way you made the size, I assume. Yeah, no, each square is 10.
I would like to.
Then I suppose we need to think: are we going in and just taking out Jolly, or are we doing something else?
I
I'd
mean,
like to see if there's any kind of like people walking around in this.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so freaking cool, dude! I love that magical item you have.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's truly is so good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get and just as a heads up, like I'm gonna go from here to here so that I can cover like this area here,
Okay.
and then back to here, so I can cover these guys.
Okay. All right, let me double check then. All right, so the first one you do is going to bring up, so that will cover the rooms, I believe. But this one, okay. So this one gets the rooms above it. And sorry, I'm trying to, there's like multiple levels, so I keep forgetting. So let's do one room at a time. The first room, the one right in front of the doors, one that the rat already took a look at, you sense 1, 2, 3, 4 people in there. And that... Sorry, let me come back to that. Yes. This room has 4 people total. I'll put tokens down and shrink. That one's at the table. Now, in the back there, when you move there towards the back, you get the 2 rooms upstairs. Then you sense 2 people in there. The rat had already confirmed that, but there you know it as well down here. And downstairs, there are a total of 8 people in these 2 areas.
Okay.
Over here, you sense the 3 that you know of at the table already, playing cards, and you also sense 2 people in here. There's a room down. And so, yeah, that's everybody in the... Oh, you get this room too. Let me double check that.
So
There are 3 people in that room.
3 people in this one here.
So Gabe is using his tremor sense to kind of scout how many people are in what rooms.
I'm just as you were talking, as you were trying to message
Yeah.
Walter, I'm just like, hold on. I put my hand on your shoulder. I was like, there's 3 people in this room, 8 people over here, 4 people here, 3 people. I'm just like noting it all as I walk a little bit.
I'll message Walter. Walter, we're outside the door to the Great Hall. We're ready to head in. Is there... I don't know why I'm using that voice while I'm talking to you. We are about ready to head in. Is there anything you need us to do? Anything we need to be aware of? We know there's like 4 people in there. There's also a bunch of people downstairs behind that room. Should we circumvent it and come upstairs? There's a path up. Let me know.
I don't know anything that's below the steps, like behind the Great Hall, because I didn't go back there.
No, Gabriel knows that though. So there are... Gabriel says there are 8 people behind there, so we might have to be careful.
Okay. Sorry, I was out of character, so I was talking like myself.
Sorry.
No worries. It doesn't seem like this Jolly guy is very smart. But I don't know if that means that he's very tough. So
I mean,
there's 3 other people there with him. He doesn't really care that I'm here. I was spotted, but there's such a rat infestation here, so I didn't think that.
there is a bonus. I mean, it seems like there are a lot of peripheries. Should we head up the stairs and do a little Eustace action on the couple that are waiting in that bunk over there? Should we make our way through and lighten the loads here and there? Or just go in and see what we can do with this?
I mean, you look like, Sholar.
I do, but I am not 100% sure that we are just going to look while we are in there. We might be fighting this guy, yes?
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like he's hostile.
I mean, what
The
we
thing
could
is
do
that, we could just find out who,
is hand off these three.
yeah, who takes the crushing wave cultists, and then you probably get some more information out of him before you go all
Yes.
whatever. He did dismiss a highly suspicious letter that said that there are people like us in Wamford.
Well,
There's a threat. I think it was us. It might not be us, but
here's
who
an
knows?
idea. I can come in, hand off these three, hopefully bluff my way out. If I can walk out, then I can poof into my ring. And then these three can be led to wherever they go. And maybe we skip this jolly guy and just deal with the actual cult leader.
But we do need to stop Jolly, right? I mean, the thing is, he doesn't like this job. Maybe he can be reasoned with not do this job.
It's possible if
Gabriel
if he
could
does
do
not
that. He
have-
does that to people.
He does a lot to people. I think if
Do you have a crush on? Do you have a crush on him? I'm just like that would just
I
in our
have a
head.
crush on
Though.
everyone that moves for the most part, but
Hey, Sharrik, you're having a long conversation. What's going on with you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can't hear what you're saying.
I'm
It's
sorry.
all in your head.
Walter is very verbose. It's, it's
Going
crazy.
in.
That he doesn't say much, but then when you talk to him in his head, it's like all over the place, just nonstop chatter. So I think what we're going to do is I'll introduce you guys to Jolly.
Yep.
I'll walk out.
Mm-hmm.
Go around by the window. Eustace hopefully gets close. I can jump in my ring. When they lead you
Okay.
down to wherever the cultists go, I'll be there, ready to go. Walter hopefully will follow along as a rat and not get distracted chewing on something. And that way we can skip Jolly for now. Let's cut the head off the snake, and then we can come back and see what we can do with Jolly.
How
Maybe
close
recruit.
do I need to be?
Let me double check, because my brain does not work that far.
Babe, I just want to say I love Eustace when he just has one word answers when there's like a situation makes sense. He's like, yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Get at it.
As an action, you can magically vanish and enter your vessel, which remains in the space you left. So I think you'd almost have to have your finger with my ring outside the window.
That's a predicament.
Or I can wait out here. You guys walk along. I'll be, leaning up against a wall, whatever. And then as they walk ahead of you to lead you out, I can follow and poof in right behind you.
What if they lead us upstairs or downstairs?
No problem. I'll figure it out.
Okay. That's all I need to know.
Otherwise, we wing it. We kill this guy, and Walter is having to run back and save our butts like always.
When we're gonna handle this, Eustace.
Could be that.
We should when we in how. So you said there's how many in this? Do you know where they are exactly?
I mean, there's 4 in that room.
Yeah.
And there's
But,
8 beyond that. 2 upstairs. I mean, my other thought was we used to sit, we go upstairs, we kill the 2 up there, and that's at least 2 less we have to deal with. But,
No, I like that idea.
I figured you would. The
Yeah.
downside is if for some reason those 2 make noise.
Oh, they won't.
I don't know if they're awake or asleep. I could ask Walter again, but then Gabe was mad that we were talking for a long time. I'm sorry, Walter. I am sorry. I will get back to you. I'm talking with the boys.
I wasn't mad.
I know. I was just giving.
Can you hear me? I wasn't mad, Walter.
Oh no, Walter can't tell at all. It's okay. So
Were the two upstairs, Rory? Were they asleep or? Because I popped my
No.
head in there.
They weren't asleep. They were lounging. Basically, they were just sitting back, relaxing, but not asleep.
Sam's. Sorry, you're talking and Sam's like, they're fucking. I'm like, all right, great.
They might be, but no. I think that would have had a different.
Walter, do you know what they're doing there?
Makes sense.
Are they paying attention? Which direction are they looking? The wall, the door.
They're just lounging, and then there's a really, really wet room.
Wet, huh?
Like for some reason, it's just super damp, like squishy.
Well, should we come up that way? We can walk in. They will think I am the captain, and then Eustace can dispatch them quickly, and then we can come check out the wet room with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody else up here except for these two people sleeping. Not sleeping. They're just lounging.
All right, let's go look. Let's go see.
I'm in the top floor.
All right. So you guys make your way up here, and we're going to pause and leave off right as you reach for the door.
It sounds good. Sorry, we're just.
This wet room is freaking me out.
You guys are going to level up between next session.
Oh hells yeah!
Really?
Cool.
Yeah. You guys solved like 3 problems without ever actually fighting. I mean, I can't penalize you for that. It was awesome.
So we're level 7 now?
Level C-Evans.
Wow.
Oh, you asked that question earlier. Can Eustace get any creepier?
Oh, God.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
You're just going to turn into the Shadow Man.
All right. Well, you know, let's do a sign off and.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, just go straight to leveling.
Just go straight to level up. Yes. So I gave everyone the great news that they are leveling up, and while they all ponder over D&D Beyond, as I'm sure they're doing, we can say goodnight to Bill, Dave, Sam, and Lisa. Rory, have a great night. It was fun.
Good night.
Night, guys.
All right.
Night.